Aidan, it's great to have you here at our new London office. It's
Great
been great.
to be here.
It's been great having you in the UK as well, and having some time with you. Really looking forward to having a chat, basically kind of see how things have gone this year and what's on the docket for next year. So it's obviously been a really busy year, like a lot of exciting things happening. And I think one of the top things that would be on anyone's list is the Firemate acquisition. How's that been going so far?
Yeah, I mean, merging with Firemate was incredibly exciting for everyone involved, and it's gone super well. We've had a ton of customers make the leap, and the early feedback from those customers have been really positive, so it's gone really well. We're really happy with it.
Any kind of surprises or things that you weren't quite expecting during that sort of transition process, which I know is still ongoing to an extent?
I think the early excitement around from the first set of customers that have jumped over was probably a bit surprising. There were a lot of people that were ready to make the leap and wanted to be early. So that's been really great. And I think getting to know the Firemate team has been really great as well.
So with that acquisition, that's kind of brought Uptick in Australia to being sort of the biggest software for fire protection businesses. Like, obviously you are the founder, you coded the first version of what became Uptick quite a while ago now. How do you feel about sort of where you've seen that Australian business get to?
Yeah, it's really exciting. I think while there's still competitors in the Australian market, there's no one that is exclusively focused on fire. And I think that gives us an enormous advantage and allows us to invest a lot of our resources in making the product the best for the fire industry over there. I think it's also enabled us to be a bit less defensive, so there's less brain power going into defense and more brain power going into offense, and I think we've all really enjoyed that, both us and the Firemate team.
Awesome, and we'll get into a little bit more of like what offense might look like in 2024, but more generally looking back at 2023 outside of Firemate, which has been big, what would you say have been some other highlights for you?
I think our growth in the UK has been absolutely breathtaking, and building up a team over here of really smart, young, motivated people has been incredibly rewarding. Going into our office and seeing 20 people in there all selling and working on Uptick is just an amazing experience, being in a different country.
Yeah, awesome. And for me, it's like week 7, but I'm really enjoying it so far as well.
Yeah, great.
And any others you might add for 2023 in terms of highlights?
It's just been an amazing year. I think a business reaches a scale point where things get a little bit easier. And I think we've tipping over 85 people. We've definitely reached that point now where there's enough capacity in the business that we can handle a little bit more. We have more people doing one role instead of split across 3 or 4 roles, and I think that's an enormous amount of focus. And I think just the growth both in Australia and the UK has really been like demonstrated what focus can do.
So obviously lots of highlights, but if I could ask you, what would you say you're proudest of in 2023 at Uptick?
Absolutely, like the team. I think watching us grow in 2 countries at the same time and watching the people grow in their roles and become more and more confident and skilled, it's incredibly rewarding to see. And
in terms of like that team and that growth, what's been the focus and what have been the priorities over the course of the last 12 months?
Yeah, I mean we've grown quite quickly. So I think we're 85 plus people at the moment. We're a product-led company, so our focus is always on the product. Our customers are our biggest advocates, and they help us grow, and we're super grateful to them. And our view, the way that we keep growing is just by having the best product in market. We think that ultimately the product will always win, and we've invested a ton of money and continue to invest a ton of money in our product.
And what does that look like so far? I think we were chatting a little bit before, because we were sort of getting ready for this, you had a chance to run some of the numbers. So there's actually some actual quantifiable data behind that as well, right?
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling. We've on just product and engineering salaries alone, we've spent 19.5 million to date, and that's only ramping up. So this year we'll spend 5.5 million just on engineering and product salaries. Which is really, like, when we started, was not the kind of numbers.
What in practice does that look like? Where obviously it's people, but Where are they seeing that investment over that time?
Yeah, I think just in terms of pure ratios, we're probably double R&D investment in terms of ratios compared to other high-tech companies. But I think we can do that because the advocacy that we get from our customers when they first start using Uptick and when they've been on it for a year enables us to spend way less on sales and marketing. So the product really does kind of pave the way for the growth that we're experiencing at the moment.
We're almost at the end of the year, and unbelievably 2024 is almost upon us. So can you just talk us through what the major plans for 2024 look like, and what you'll be focusing on, what the business will be focusing on?
Yeah, in the Australian market, it'll be working with all of the Firemate customers for those that want to move over. In terms of product and R&D, we're launching some killer features, which I'm really excited about. I think there's a few features that we've been working on for 2 or 3 years now, and I'm really excited for them to see the light of day. But we're also really focusing on making the product just easy to use day to day and easier to learn. Sometimes it's hard to stop working on features and going back over your old product and making it just nicer, but we have to recognize that our customers spend 7 to 8 hours per day, every business day, working on our products. And we want that experience to be really positive. So we'll go back over and add a lot of polish and guardrails onto the software to make it easy to use.
Are there any features you're particularly excited about for next year?
There's 2 features that I'm really excited about. There's automatic scheduling, which will largely, using machine learning, augment the needs of a human scheduler. And we think the results on that, again, it helped technicians get 1 or 2 extra jobs done per day, which is an absolutely massive bottom line savement to our business owners. The other feature that we're working on is what we call Uptick to Uptick, and it enables our customers to share jobs between each other. And we think that'll cut down a huge amount of paperwork between our customers.
Hopefully we'll see you back in the UK again next year, and theoretically, if we're sitting down at this time in 2024 doing this, where do you hope and dream the business will be going into 2025?
Yeah, gosh, I think all we can really hope for is that we keep growing as fast as we're growing at the moment, and that we have hundreds of really happy customers advocating for us both in Australia and in the UK.
And finally, if I could ask you to sum up Uptick in 2023 in a word, what would that be?
I think growing up. I think it's the year that we really transitioned from a startup to a scale up. I think it's when we got our processes right for sales, marketing, implementation, support. I think it's when we saw an enormous amount of maturity go into the operation of the business, and really grew a really strong, powerful leadership team. So yeah, I think growing up would be the word.